Good evening and welcome to an episode of Poor vs. Standard. Poor here, as always, not a financial advisor. All opinions within this podcast are for entertainment purposes only, so don't sue us. Don't do it. And if you find any educational value or any other value from these videos, feel free to like, subscribe on YouTube, review the podcast anywhere you're looking at podcasts, and or if you really like us, we can always use the support to get you better content. So feel free to join our Patreon at patreon.com/poorvstandard. And you can find links and descriptions and all that in the episode notes. So with all that said, let's get into it. What do you say? Happy Sunday. It's football day. Football starts in another couple minutes. Got my coffee. Good to go. And kind of talk about last week a little. Portfolio was up from the week before. We were above 22K. And maybe before Monday open, or we may open red. Don't know yet. We'll find out. But yeah, the story really is not so much stocks right now. The story is cryptos, and there are some stocks that we will get into though, so don't you worry. Whatever the reason this is not cooperating. There we go. So we have Bitcoin currently at 62,500 roughly. Ethereum at 4,600, which I believe is a new all-time high. That sucker's probably going to break 5K here in the next couple weeks, if I had to guess. And then again, every time I say that, it usually starts to crash. So ADA above $2, Cardano. And DOT at 52. We warned the patrons about this one when it was around 40, I believe. And then all the way down here, we have Anchor at 12.7 cents. I like this one. Do your own research, though. I bought a couple of them because 12 cents, it's hard to say no. But there's a lot of different coins and things out. Like, you can just see this list is so long anymore. It used to be 3. It used to be Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and now there's just so many. So be very careful when you're trading anything that isn't like in the top 5, like the Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Litecoin, like things that have stood the test of time, been around long, because you're getting high. Everything is getting highly valuated. I mean, Bitcoin's over $1 trillion market cap. Ethereum's at like $500 billion market cap, I think. So yeah. Careful. Be very careful. Everything can be a bubble. Doesn't mean it's going to pop anytime soon, but just be wary. And I think, honestly, crypto's probably going to go a little bit higher. Probably a lot bit higher. And depending on what happens with the stock market and what goes on, we will see how high crypto goes. Right now, there's a very interesting thing that Standard actually was talking to me about, where the M2 money like availability, and you divide that by the SPY, and the average, like he did this all in TradingView and showed me, like the average is like 1.6, and the only other time that it was 1.6 was or higher was March or May of 2000, which was the month that the .com bubble burst. So only other time in history that's been a thing, and here we are again. So it's possible that could be an indicator. It's a very rare and interesting indicator, but we'll see what happens. So be careful out there with stocks and such. So I mean, right now S&P 500 is at like an almost all-time high at 466 for SPY. I mean, we hit 470. That was nuts. You're getting close and closer to 500. And a little over a year ago, this was, 250 maybe? Wild stuff. But yeah, so some of the stocks that did okay for us this week were Tattooed Chef, Palantir, back up in the 26 range. Corsair back in the 26 range. Walgreens should be breaking 50 here, hopefully soon. Smile Direct Club just kind of sticking around, which is nice because we did get our $7 call that we sold for November 19th when it was up high. And so we're making some decent profit on that one with that option sold against shares we own. And I can't recommend enough that when you see green days, you start to think about maybe selling a covered call on some of your stocks. When you see red days, that's a good day to buy calls. But yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to play theta to your advantage. You could sell puts on those red days. That's always a good thing too. Cash covered puts, a little more expensive than buying a call usually, but either way, the thing about the cash covered put is you're gonna get something for your money. You're not gonna get left in the wind with nothing. Whereas if you just buy the naked call, then essentially you could end up with nothing if it goes down lower. If it goes below that price and expiration, you're left with $0 and no shares. Whereas if it goes down below the price you pay, or the price you're getting paid to accept shares with the cash covered put, not only did you get paid to take those 100 shares, but you also end up with 100 shares. So hopefully that premium is enough to, offset that balance of how far down it went. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what we're here to talk about. I do want to cover some news. So let's get into it, because some of these things are a little bit, interesting and may affect your portfolio. So the first thing up is Elon Musk has been using a Twitter poll to determine the future of 10% of his Tesla shares. So last week, I believe it was like the National Food Banker or something like that was like, if we only had $6 billion, we could cure world hunger. If Elon Musk gave up $6 billion, he could cure world hunger. And he basically called their bluff and said, you know what? If you promise to show how every single one of those pennies that is spent, open source, so everyone in the public can see it, I will sell off enough shares to give you $6 billion to do that. And they were like, oh yeah, we have the technology in place, we can do that. They haven't said anything or done anything other than that. It's a bluster full of wind, because they raised over $8 billion the year before, and we still have world hunger. Go figure. And Tesla shot up recently. It went from like $700-$800 to it's like $1,200 right now. And so he'll probably sell 10% of his shares just because it's super, super high valuation right now. And I mean, you've got places like the ARK investment funds selling off just to balance their portfolio. It's not that they don't believe in the stock. It's just that when things go up that high, they have to make sure that Tesla's not more than 3 to 5% of the portfolio. So they got to sell off some when it hits those new highs and becomes like 12% of the portfolio, right? Otherwise, it'd just be like Tesla and ETF. Like, I don't know. That's kind of one of the reasons I don't like the SPY, is because it's mostly just Apple, Microsoft, Tesla. Like, those are their biggest holdings because those are the biggest companies. So if you just buy those individual stocks, you don't have to worry about the little ones bringing it down. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. And another thing I wanted to talk about is that there's a lot of people talking about how the labor shortage is going to get a lot worse because of this vaccine mandate that is affecting private companies. Now, politics aside, I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what your vaccination status is. You can't, constitutionally speaking, do what this does. It's an overreach of power, and it's an organization, OSHA, that doesn't have the power to do it in the first place, that is setting the standard for this. But that's not the problem. The problem is that if you even want to consider putting this in, you are going to lose roughly 25% of the workforce in every field. You're already on a jobs shortage. Like, there's so many jobs that just aren't filled because people aren't going to work because they either think the pay is shitty or they still have a lot of money left over from when the government was handing people money left and right. I don't know which one it is, but I do know that there's a lot of people out of work, not going to work, and yet they somehow still survive still have roofs over their head for now. The mortgage moratorium's been away for a couple months now, and people are still living. We didn't see a massive crash. Certain areas have been affected greater than others. So yeah, it's something. I know that statistically speaking, the September, October, November are not good months to be selling your house because people have already moved into the school districts and such that they want to live in before the school year starts. So they will, more than likely, you would have seen a downturn in like people being able to sell houses and things around this time of year anyway. But not as many jobs, not as many people filling jobs. You still have a bunch of jobs that need to be filled. And we did have where'd it go? I had a thing. I don't remember what I did with it. Well, I had an article. Here we go. The jobs offering. So the jobs report did hit above the projected outcome by like maybe 100,000. So it wasn't a big beat, but it was, the stock market absorbed it like it was an okay thing that happened. So that's basically, it's a wash. Like nothing, the jobs market data didn't, make the market lose its mind in an upward or downward direction. They just kind of said, okay, this is within our, ideas of budget and things. And Jerome Powell, basically came out and said like, we can't, start the taper early or anything. We're not healthy enough to do that. So there's not going to be, any reason to panic, and the stock market enjoyed that. So you saw a little bit of a boom. But yeah, to get back into the vaccines issue, a lot of places are having trouble because anyone who wanted to get the vaccine got the vaccine. Anyone who doesn't want to get the vaccine for whatever reason, you can't force someone to do something against their will. It's just not the American way. So by trying to force people to do that, you're putting them between a rock and a hard place where they don't want to do it. They're not going to do it. And they don't care what the hell you do to them. You're infringing on their liberties. And I get that. Like, that's not something you're supposed to be able to do. Like, you don't have the right to tell me what to do. Like, that's why we have warning labels on damn near everything, because you can't force people not to do stupid things and then sue you. You can only say, hey, we warned you that this would happen if you did stupid shit. So that's on you now. Good luck. You can't force them not to do it. Like idiots who drink bleach. Don't drink this. It's very caustic. It will cause harm. People drink bleach anyway. Please get the vaccine because it will, increase your chance of living, survivability if you were to, catch corona. What do? Like, okay, they're adults. They made their decision. They weighed the pros and cons for themselves, and they decided not to get it for whatever reason. That's their decision. That's fine. If you are vaccinated, you don't have anything to worry about. You're as protected as you can be against a virus that, yes, it's killed a lot of people. It's a very bad flu, but it's nothing like an Ebola virus. It's not as deadly as a lot of other viruses that have happened. Politics aside, remember that if you follow the science, this isn't a thing that there should be such a severe and long-term reaction to. You're hurting the economy that way. You're killing jobs. You're killing people's willingness to work because inflation's happening when you don't have enough labor to build the things that need to be built so people can continue to spend the way they want to spend. Shutting down the economy is a bad thing in any shape and form. It was a bad thing when, the previous administration shut down for more than 2 weeks. We were told 2 weeks, and then it kept going, and then it kept going. And then the next administration kept that train alive because everybody loves a good, pandemic. That's how you amass power, is by saying, hey, we're still in the middle of it, so if you can just give us some of your stuff and more of your rights to protect you, that'll be fine. Like, that's not how that works. I'm sorry. But I would highly suggest that, everyone gets I'm not against the vaccine in any way, shape, or form, and I highly suggest that everyone who wants to get it gets it because it's widely available. And if you don't want to get it, that's your choice. I don't care. Like that's not my decision to make for you. That's your decision as a full-grown American adult. So if we end all this crap and just let people get on with their lives, you're going to see a huge boom in the economy. Will that happen? I don't know. A lot of people don't like to give up power once they have it. So we'll see what the administration does, but I doubt it. But yeah, so those are kind of some of the stories that happened as far as this last week or a couple weeks, because I haven't been able to give you the podcast and such. And I did want to apologize that I was, absent last week and I didn't have a podcast put together for you. That's on my bad. I'm going through a bit of a personal issue right now. And as you can see, I'm recording in a place that is not the normal place that I record. So just bear with me while I work through this stuff, and I will try my best to give you the best content and the most content I can when I can. And once this is all done and over with, I will be able to release all of the options course training stuff and all that stuff, and I will definitely double down my efforts because I'll have more time. But right now I just don't have the time, and it's sad and unfortunate, and I wish I did. I wish I had the time. I wish this wasn't happening, but you can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. So life's hard, life sucks, but it's true for everybody. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope everybody's, having an excellent week, and I hope next week treats you well, just as well, if not better than last week. So thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for bearing with me. And as always, be safe, trade well,